For centuries, archaeologists have dusted the desert sands, meticulously photographing, documenting, and analysing to create a timeless record of an ancient past. But now the archaeology of toothbrushes and fieldwork is slipping away as high-tech solutions are taking over. Satellite imagery, LiDAR, 3D scanning, starting to become the new normal.
When you consider what we're trying to undertake here, which is an enormously extensive survey covering 2,300 square kilometres, without the availability of some of the technology that we're using, it would not be possible. If we went back to some of the techniques we used only 10 years ago, this whole task would not be achievable.
The team in Saudi Arabia is using the latest cutting-edge technology.
Different drone surveys do different things. In the case of Al Ula, we know what the archaeology is, we can see it. But what we can do is make very accurate models so that we can use it for planning purposes, for conservation purposes, where we can actually get a plan of how we can actually manage what is one of the more remarkable monuments within the region.
Founded more than 2,000 years ago in an oasis in the desert valley, narrow corridors unveil ancient history at every turn. Today, this is a ghost town, where tightly packed mud brick houses lie abandoned, decaying under the hot sun.
We're flying over at low altitudes with a drone, and we're going to make a very precise three-dimensional model. We'll be able to pick up every single pebble, every single element of the structure in 3 dimensions. This is something that's never been achievable. Some of the techniques that we're using are basically never been applied in this part of the world. Even in Western Europe, the techniques have only been applied for the last 2 or 3 years. So the techniques are very new, they're innovative, and they're changing the way archaeology is being undertaken.
Saudi Arabia is bringing together the old with the new against a backdrop of rapid societal and political change. Places like Al Ula are becoming the main attraction.
It's hugely important that they want to get it right. They definitely want to do a best practice state-of-the-art survey so that they're sure that they're doing things in the best way that it could possibly be done. And they have the resources to do that.
Technology is opening up new frontiers for these archaeologists in the Middle East. And in some cases, bringing back to life relics on the brink of destruction.
I think that the urgency, particularly for the Middle East and North Africa, is because now is the time to begin to make that record, because if we don't do it now, it will be lost. I think we've probably got 5 or 10 years, and that's how long we've got.
From the pyramids in Giza to the Valley of the Kings in Luxor, Egypt is rich in ancient history, but its sites are facing major threats from tourism. For more than 3,000 years, the tomb of King Tutankhamun survived intact in almost pristine condition. But since it was discovered in 1922 by Howard Carter, over 9 decades of visitors have taken a toll on the ancient burial site.
The Egyptians didn't want these tombs to change. They made them to last for eternity, but never to be visited. How do we manage thousands of people a day visiting a site that was never meant to be visited, that has none of the services that can allow it to be dehumidified or temperature conditioned, without major impositions that change the nature of the tomb?
Today, archaeologists are using the latest technology to record, preserve, and bring ancient Egypt back to life.
When you go inside something so ancient, it's like there's this feeling, like it's almost as if it's holy. It's like there's this feel to it, like the stones are talking to you.
Emerging from the shadows, the images of an ancient language. An archaeologist's dream. a hall of beauties from the tomb of Egyptian pharaoh Seti I.
Seti is an amazing tomb. It's like reading a book. It's not only that it has beautiful architecture, it has so much material for Egyptologists to study. And the workmanship in the tomb is very special. It's more than all the other tombs I've ever seen.
But this tomb is not in Egypt. It's thousands of kilometers away in the Swiss city of Basel. Recreated using the latest digital technology. A precise replica of how the tomb looked exactly 200 years ago when it was first discovered.
When I entered here, like the first time when I got to Basel, and I was like, I feel like I'm in the tomb. The only difference is that there's not enough dust. But apart from that, there's just the same feeling, the same air about it, the same look.
Alia Ismail is combining art and digital technology to bring the world a new view on history. The 27-year-old works for Factum Arte and is the first Egyptian trained in the digital technology used for making facsimiles.
This work that we do is very important because it helps us to document our heritage. Facsimile is something that is a record. It's not just because of its beauty. It's more to serve like academic purposes and to spread the awareness for tourism, because when you record in such high resolution, then you're keeping a record in time of this object.
As Egypt looks to technology to stem the tide of destruction, Saudi Arabia is looking to science to prevent it from ever happening. As the kingdom enters a new era, the preservation and protection of its ancient past is at the forefront of the agenda.
Our vision to El Ula is to preserve and protect the heritage site, ensure that it's ready to welcome the visitors and tourists, and by then, hopefully, will be the #1 destination in the world.
Saudi Arabia is recording, protecting, and preserving its heritage.
I think that they've got the opportunity to get it absolutely right. It won't be easy. As a tourist destination, it will become one of the top places in the world if it really is opened up. Equally, they're going to have to balance the experience so that it isn't just completely mobbed. But I'm sure they'll get it right. I think Saudi Arabia can teach a lot of other people about how best to do things.
And serving as an example for many to follow.